We live on YouTube. We broadcasting to the four corners of the planet on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. No subscribers, no new subscribers to shout out this time. I actually lost 14 since my return to the big platform. However, YouTube was nice enough to put me back into the YouTube partnership program. So therefore, if you feel so moved to, you can always give me a super chat or super thanks, or the Cash App is at Derek C. Williams. I guess I got to put all that out. All right, so yeah, so we here back live on YouTube like we never left. Um, my name is Derek C. Williams, and I'm just one man in the comments section on YouTube. The title of this presentation will be called Brought to You by Pfizer. So I want to shout out Pfizer. Salute to Marcy T. Yeah, I saw Marcy T. I saw your community post today, and you gotta hit people. You gotta talk to people, even devils, in a language that they understand. Because I think you and I can both agree, Marcy T, that a devil ain't gonna talk nice. So you have to talk in a language that they understand, and then we might can get some understanding. Shout out and respect due to my Top Gun moderator, Black Spring with Autumn, intelligence done right. Black Spring, if you would, I want you to put Marcy T's link in the stream. You know what? A better still. Let me see some. Let me do it like this. Wait, man. Let me do it like this. Hold on for a second. More. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna work on it. Let me see. I cannot do this thing. Okay, it is on my radar. Okay, Marcy T, you got the keys. You got the juice. Marcy T, you are now a moderator. You the verse out of Baltimore City. Baltimore City, stand up. All right. So yeah. So Marcy T, you got the keys to the car. So you are now a moderator. All moderators. All moderators. This is from me to y'all. We will have no disrespectful comments in the stream. We will have no disrespectful comments toward the presenter. All right, spooky cinnamon roll. All right, respect due. First time meeting you, come on in, but just understand, Spooky, when you come to this channel here, this serious over here. So any disrespectful comments at all, just block them. Don't time nobody out on my channel, hide them. So Universe out of Baltimore City, stand up. You got the keys. Any and all disrespectful comments, if they disrespectful to you, most likely they would be disrespectful to me if I was your moderator. Just block them. And again, like I said, I'm Derek C. Williams, and the title of this presentation is called Brought to You by Pfizer. And I just got like 4 stories, because I know it's sad and y'all got stuff to do. I got like 4 stories just dealing with the pharmaceutical behemoth Pfizer. Now, I'm sure a lot of y'all know that, well, at least those of you who know me, I lost my channel for talking about that gene therapy injection. A lot of woke people call it a vaccine, which it is not. It is clearly gene editing, and in fact, I think on a prior, I'm actually Spooky Cinnamon Roll. My day is going good. Every day above ground is a good day. Marcy T, I want you to look over Spicy Cinnamon Roll. If they have a YouTube channel, put their link in the stream for me, all right? Thank you. All right, and that's another thing, moderators. If you hear me shout out somebody who comes into the stream and they they good peoples or whatever, I want you to go check their YouTube channel. And if they legit, you can drop their links in there. I think we should all spread the wealth and learn to share and things like that. All right, but I was going to say with regards to the pharmaceutical behemoth Pfizer, they have raked in hundreds of millions or billions of dollars over this shot. But I'm quite sure a lot of y'all know at this late date, it wasn't safe, nor was it effective, and they still pushing it now. So if you were dumb enough, you can say stuff like that on YouTube now, if you was foolish enough to follow the CDC schedule, you would be up to booster shot number 8. But they tell us that the vaccines are safe and effective. And also, it should be noted that There is a secret vaccine court in Washington D.C. Not too many people know about it, but I do. But you have to go to Washington, and you're having to fight the government to get redress if your child dies or gets injured from the shot. And even at that point, it's a crapshoot. But thus far, last time I checked, they've paid out over $5.4 billion in compensation for people who was injured or killed. I don't use the word unalive. That's some whole shit. I don't say unalive. They got killed. The shot killed them. All right. And the government agreed because they've paid out over $5 billion in redress for injured and deceased vaccine recipients, all right? But they tell us it's safe and effective. But at any rate, again, I'm Derek C. Williams, and the title of this presentation is called Brought to You by Pfizer. And as I always say, I'm one man in the comment section on YouTube. Black Spring with Autumn, if you would please, I want you to put this link in the stream for me. This is dealing with why people are so inundated, or they're so brainwashed, or they have a proclivity to want to take the shot, and that's because they give it to you every day, all day. America is one of the few countries in the Western world, since I've been looking into it, that actually has commercials for vaccines. They don't advertise vaccines in the UK, to my understanding. All right. So, Black Spring with Autumn, I want you to put this link in the stream for me. This is called Big Pharma's Media Takeover, how drug companies bought the news and your health. So this is that report right here. I believe it's backwards, but Theresa Miles, bless up on herself. All right, so let's get it going. In the mid-2000s, pharmaceutical companies formed financial partnerships with major media corporations, leveraging billions in advertising dollars to influence news coverage and suppress critical reporting on drug safety. Investigative reports on vaccine risk and flu shot efficacies, once covered by mainstream outlets, disappeared almost overnight. Cheryl Atkinson, really quickly while it's on my mind, any of the moderators, if any of y'all in here that's a moderator, I want y'all to go onto YouTube and you're going to look up Cheryl Atkinson, and the title of her thing is called Full Measure. So if you can find Full Measure on YouTube, I want you to put that link in the stream. If you want real journalism about pretty much everything, Cheryl Atkinson is that girl. All right. So I'm going to continue. Cheryl Atkinson's reporting revealed that flu shots failed to reduce elderly deaths, but the findings were dismissed and the story was buried by Big Pharma's media control. All right. Also in the 2000s, mainstream media still allowed dissenting voices on vaccine safety. Shows like The Daily Show with Jon Stewart and The Morning Joe. And really quickly, I got to say again, a little aside, I just put up a post on my community tab with Joe Scarborough. His son was vaccine injured, and he actually agreed with Robert F. Kennedy in a video, saying that yes, he thinks that there is a link between the vaccines and autism. But we're gonna continue. All right. And Morning Joe hosted Robert F. Kennedy, who spoke openly about vaccine risk. Even though Joe Scarborough shared his own son's vaccine injury, Atkinson herself reported on flu vaccines dismal effectiveness. Until all of these shows seemingly vanished. All right. The financials don't stop there. They dictate what news got covered and what stories got buried. All right. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently revealed on Fox News that 75% of Fox News revenue comes from Big Pharma. And also, quickly as an aside, Gloria Vanderbilt's son, let me say that again, Gloria Vanderbilt's son, Anderson Cooper, gets $12 million or $20 million, I think that's the number. I think he gets $20 million from CNN, but $12 million of that is paid for by Pfizer. So if he's getting paid by Pfizer, what do you think Cooper is going to talk about? Is he going to talk fair of the shot or any vaccine, or is he just going to tell the truth as it is? All right, but I'm going to continue. As I said, Robert F. Kennedy recently revealed that 75% of Fox News revenue comes from Pharma's critical ads. All right, Johnson & Johnson all right. Okay, hold on one second. Marcy T says that sounds like a paid bribe to speak good of something. Yes, ma'am. All right. We're going to continue. All right. It's ultimately on the citizen or any person concerned with their health to look into alternative sources because mainstream media will not tell you the truth. All right. So there you have it for that story. All right. So it all started back in the 2000s, at least based off this story, that pharmaceutical companies wanted to get in and talk favorable of their product, even though the efficacy rates are bad. Sometimes they kill people, and they have a secret vaccine court in order for you to get redress. But they never tell you this when you have to get your annual flu shot, or if you take your child in for a well visit. All right, so definitely dirty stuff is afoot on that front. So we're going to continue here, and I have this story here because, as you know, Pfizer was one of the spearheads of making the coronavirus vaccine. They've since pivoted because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all these cancer diagnoses are coming up out of nowhere. Imagine my shock. So now, Alfred Bourla, who is the CEO of Pfizer, said that they're going to reverse course and they're now going to focus on cancer vaccines to help fight the cancer that they started. But really quickly, this is just a pop culture reference. If any of you all saw the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith, if I remember that movie correctly, the opening of that movie started with having the planet cured of cancer due to a vaccine. And what happened afterwards? The people turned into zombies. So perhaps we need to quit trying to manipulate nature. It's no as far as the brain goes, I think a lot of people, that and the immune system, are the two last frontiers for medicine, and they're trying to find a way to do an end run around it. And I say good luck with that. But if I remember that story correctly, when people were vaccinated in that movie, the whole planet turned into zombies. But Black Spring with Autumn, if you could put this link in the stream, it's called Pfizer pouring COVID profits into cancer battle, CEO Bourla says. So this is that article right here. Again, I wish I could turn this damn thing around so you can see it right. But Black Spring with Autumn, if you would please, I want you to put that link in the stream for me. All right. Pfizer is pouring the windfall profits from its COVID-19 vaccine and treatment into developing products to battle cancer. Most notably, its $43 billion purchase of Seagen Incorporated. Chief Executive Officer Albert Bourla told Reuters in a newsmaker event on Thursday. Pfizer is giving all the profits that we made from COVID in 2021 and 2022, and we will make in 2023 to acquire technology and products that we believe will allow us to battle cancer. He said in an effort the drug makers calling the next moonshot. Thank you, Black Spring with Autumn, for putting that link in the stream. Oh, Marcy T, yeah, real quick, what it is, you're gonna have to send me your email, and I'll forward you some of the stories like I do Black Spring with Autumn, because I was saying when I was able to go live years ago that I didn't think it was always fair for Black Spring with Autumn to always drop the links. I think she don't mind, but at the same time, I just don't think it's just fair. That's just me. All right. So we're gonna continue. The COVID products drove Pfizer's revenue to record levels, topping 100 billion in 2022 and 80 billion in 2021. Bourla is looking to shift the drug maker's focus from COVID-19 vaccines and its treatment to put the company at the forefront of the pandemic response, and led to a once-in-a-lifetime surge in revenue. The company is in the midst of a steep but expected fall in COVID product sales because ain't nobody taking them shots. According to Dr. Peter McCullough, I think less than 10% of the country is taking the booster. All right. As a result, investors are looking for Pfizer to produce a blockbuster new drug that can pull in billions. Once again, imagine my shock. Bourla has already overseen a string of acquisitions to bolster Pfizer's drug pipeline, headlined by the $43 billion Seagen deal that I just mentioned earlier. Pfizer's other recent deals include the purchase of Biohaven pharmaceutical holders, makers of a migraine drug. All right. And finally, the U.S. government will end the COVID public health emergency on Thursday. Well, actually in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. No, not 2023. Biden actually signed an executive order saying that the emergency was over. So there you have it for that story. And the funniest thing with that is people have, the emergency is over. 1 second, excuse me. The emergency is over, but people are still running around wearing masks like they about to fall out and die. I just don't get it. All right. Universe says amazing that people are still taking the booster. Yes, ma'am, it is amazing. But again, if what I just said earlier about the propaganda by way of media, because Big Pharma has bought up media, it makes sense that people would do what they say, it'll be an instinct, put it like that. If I'm seeing something every day, all day, we all in this together. Stay safe. Do your part. Do your part to stop the spread. You're going to go out and do your part, you think, to stop the spread. So what did people do? They took the shot. So it makes sense that people would still be taking boosters thinking they actually... The coronavirus is in the family of the common cold. And there has never, ever been a vaccine for the common cold. And this is why the flu shot fails every year. Because what happens is, they've actually said this on CNN, they guess the strain from year to year. This is why when people take the thing, they still end up getting sick. All right? So we're going to continue. Again, I got 2 more stories. Are you a... Black Spring with Autumn, handle J for me. It doesn't matter what I am. If you can't tell, I'm not like Ketanji Brown. I actually can define what a man is. And if you had to ask that question, you clearly took that shot. So I wish you, well, actually, I don't wish you well. So Jay, I hope you took that coronavirus vaccine. You and your mammy, okay? So make a video about it, okay? Thank you. But you're out of here. Fuck out of here. All right, so we're going to continue. See, universe, you're going to have stuff like this. This is why you have to jump on that quick. So again, hide all disrespect, anything stupid. I ain't here for that. I'm 58 years old. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. All right, so that's my thing. All moderators, when you see something ignorant, just block them. I don't even care. If you see something ignorant, block them. All right. So we're going to continue. 2 more stories, and then we're going to get out of here. Thank you, Marcy T, for handling that. All right. So 2 weeks ago, I saw that President Trump did a news conference with Albert Bourla. And in that news conference, Trump and them said that they're gonna partner with Pfizer. Now remember, Trump trusted Fauci, and we see how that turned out. There's a guy, Larry Ellison, I think his name is. He was standing on the podium with Trump about maybe 2 or 3 months ago and talking about how they were going to fashion certain drugs for a person. You can't custom everybody's immune system is different, but you're going to try to fashion or tailor a vaccine for you. Mess with people's genes, don't tell them how that's going to turn out. Thank you, Marcy T. All right, let me see something here. All right, yeah. Bro Mustang, okay, yeah, okay, JX86, that's why you gone too, all right? Yeah, so we're going to continue, but anyway, Black Spring with Autumn, I want you to put this link in the stream. Pfizer strikes $70 billion deal to expand its mRNA platform and lower drug prices. Pfizer announced on Tuesday a historic agreement with the Trump administration that will ensure U.S. patients pay lower prices for their prescription medicines while strengthening America's role as the global leader in biopharmaceutical innovation, if you believe that. All right? And Albert Bourla says here, oh, hold on for a second. Oh, okay, here we go. Didi up in here. Moderators, if you would, please. I want you to put Didi's link in the stream. Yeah. Everything's all right over here. You came in probably when I had to give somebody the boot, but just so you know, Didi, the title of the presentation is called "I Am Pfizer," and I just was talking about how just really quick, just a quick recap. showed how uh, Big Pharma pretty much bought all the commercials, which leads to people just blindly going to take the shot. And I also talked about, I'm right here, I'm about to talk about Trump and Pfizer just struck a deal that they're gonna partner, and they're gonna expand the mRNA platform, and at the same time lower prescription prices. But if people are taking that shot and they pass on or get injured, will their prescriptions really matter? That would be my question. But at any rate, I want to thank you, Black Spring, for putting that link in the stream for me. But that was pretty much the long and short of it. 2 weeks ago, Trump and the devil got together. The devil is Albert Bourla, and they got together, and they want to come up with a partnership whereby they're going to always be together. There you go, right there. Thank you, Black Spring. So they struck a $70 billion deal for Pfizer to keep on making drugs, or bad drugs, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to put all vaccines on an mRNA platform. So just think about the measles, mumps, rubella, the DPT, diphtheria, chicken pox, smallpox, you name it. They're trying to make all this stuff synthetic. And speaking of which, I have a live that I'm gonna do in a couple of weeks. This would be a Black Spring with Autumn's alley right here. They're trying to make everything synthetic, and we're moving toward a transhumanist society. You may see all over the place where robots are taking over human jobs. So the question becomes, what is going to happen with humans? Well, there's this guy. He was number 2 under Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum. To me, one of the worst human beings ever born. His name is Yuval Noah Harari. This dude, he's an Israeli homosexual historian. Black Spring with Autumn, if you would please, I want you to find anything you can where Yuval Noah Harari, or even you, Marcy T, or Universe. His name is Yuval Y-U. There you go. YUVAL. And I want you to put in any video that you can find, which ain't gonna be no problem, where he says human beings are hackable animals. And that's the thumbnail for the live that I'm going to do a couple of weeks from now. When I saw that 2 years ago, and I started listening at this guy, I immediately had instant hatred for this dude. First off, he's an atheist. I'm an agnostic. I actually, there is a creative force in the universe. Now we can go all day about whether it's God, Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, whatever. I will acknowledge that. But this dude say there ain't no God. You don't have a soul. You don't have a conscience. You are a hackable animal, and that's all you're worth. And so for people like that, in their mindset, get humans the fuck out of here. We want to have synthetic life, and he said within the next 200 years or so, there will be more of a synthetic-based life form on Earth. If you ever remember, if any of you all have ever seen the first movie, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the woman in there kept saying carbon-based units. When I was a little boy, I didn't understand that. I do now. You as a human being are carbon-based. So if they keep saying carbon dioxide is bad, you're bad. The fact that you exhale is bad, right? The fact that cows made pass gas, that's gonna harm the climate and things like that. All life is carbon. You're exactly right. But people of this ilk, they see no value in a Derek C. Williams or any of y'all, any human, if you ain't part of the club, you ain't nobody. All right. Marcy T says, Derek, exactly. That is what they are speaking about. Yes, ma'am. But these people, by them injecting so many people with this mRNA product, I'm quite sure if you didn't know, I put that on my community tab as well. You'll just have to scroll through. I call it the graveyard. Chris Cuomo says himself, when he went to go get an exam under the microscope, his blood glows. He's a human being. Why is his blood glowing? Unless, of course, he took that damn shot. So you have to ask yourself, what's in the shot to make his blood glow? Right? So they've actually taken steps to move humanity towards a more synthetic society, I guess, for lack of a better term. Shout out, okay, here we go. Shout out and respect due to Shanita Marie Randomly, Florida-based Shanita Marie Randomly. She now goes by Mama Goddess Space. All moderators, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I want y'all to put Mama Goddess Space in the stream for me and run her link a couple, 3 times so I know it's her. And also a programming note for Mama Goddess. Mama Goddess, I would love for you to do a reaction video for a song that I want to send to you. But you're gonna have to send me either my email is DerekWilliams1967 @gmail. All right. So I want you to send me your number, or if you still have my number, because what happened was I had a new phone and it didn't populate over. But it's the song. This is right up your alley. You got to react to this. Shout out and respect due to the undisputed YouTube party starter, Miss Yo-Yo. All right. And this is, I can't pronounce your name, but welcome to the stream, whoever you may be. All right. All right. So yeah. So do that for me. All right. And so Aguac, Chuck, whoever you is, I'm not your baby. We serious over here. You just come in and say hello. Any moderators, all disrespectful comments, just block that person. I'm not your baby. You come in. My name is Derek Williams. We coming in. We're gonna talk maturely on this platform. If not, move along. Not a problem. All right. There you go. There you go. So yeah. So anyone who wants to reach out to me, if they have a want me to do a video about whatever, I have no problem with it. There's the thank you universe. All right. So this is the last story. I ain't want to be on here too long. You know, I ain't really no long talking boy. I just get in, give you what I think is of relevance, and I take off. All right. So the last story is this. About 2 years ago, Project Veritas that was headed up by James O'Keefe. He's essentially a muckraker. One of the last good journalists out there. They actually go in. This is a journalist that actually goes get the dirt. He actually goes behind the curtain and shows you how the sausage is made. Well, a black Pfizer executive by the name of Jordan Tristan Walker talked to one of Project Veritas's undercover agents who he thought he was on a date with. I have to take it that this black dude, I have to assume that Walker is a gay dude. But they were talking, and you know, people talk when they got that liquor in them, all right? But he went on to tell the undercover agent that they are actually trying to mutate the coronavirus as a countermeasure so they can come up with a vaccine. And in so doing, you have a steady revenue stream. So Black Spring with Autumn, if you could put this link in the stream for me. Again, my apologies for it being backwards. All right. All right. Let me see. Time out. Time out. Okay. All right. So yes, whoever that was, you're gone. So just ignorant, man. Just ignorant. They can't help themselves. But look, here, let me get ignorant. I hope you and your mammy took that shot. I hope you do. And I hope you and your mammy get turbo cancer. I said it because I can. So is that ratchet enough for you? But you gone now. All right. So at any rate, this is the story right here. We are 28 minutes into this live presentation, and the title of the presentation, as I said, is called Brought to You by Pfizer. Little station break. I'm gonna step aside. We here at Kelly Drive. I know y'all can't see nothing and all that, but that water and all that, the bridge right here, folks is out. Let me see. Let me turn the camera so y'all can see. Yeah, folks is out. Yeah, that a bridge right there. I think I finished from, I'm gonna finish from the bridge. So yeah, that is Strawberry Mansion Bridge right up under me. So this is the last story. So again, here it is right here. All right. So Black Spring with Autumn, if you would please, I want you to put that link in the stream. This is gonna be the last story for the day, and then we're gonna go and get out of here. All right. Let me see. Marcy T says it's the Wild Wild West. Yes, I love it. All right. Marcy T also says that is beautiful. Mama Goddess says that's nice. Yeah. Well, you know, I just come out here real quick. I come out here most Sundays It'd be a lot of people out here too. Everybody, back in Philly, they be out in the park, a place called the Plateau, is at the honey in front of you with the light eyes. So she turned around to see what you beeping at. It's like the summer or fall. It's like a natural aphrodisiac. All right. So yeah. So we come out here, I drink my little bourbon, smoke my cigars, have conversation. And the funniest thing, have you ever noticed when you by yourself, everybody want to talk to you. But when you be with a posse, nobody want to talk to you. I have so many interesting conversations when I just be by my dolo. Let's see. Marcy T says, so why do you think that they're disclosing all of this at this point? I said because the damage has been done and there's nothing we can do. So I'm assuming you're talking about the shot. And if you're talking about the shot, yeah, well, this was probably the largest medical experiment in human history. And so, and in order, what they say, in order to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. By some reports, 17.5 million people across the planet allegedly died over the shot. If you think I'm lying, any of the moderators, I want you to look up this a Canadian doctor. His name is Denny Rancourt, and Denny is spelled Denis Rancourt, Rancourt. And you can just type that in, 17 million, and it'll pull it right up. Now again, how he got his numbers, he's smarter than me. But clearly, even if you don't believe that, one person that died from a shot is too many. But the federal government, through VAERS, which is the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, confirms and admits that 19,460, I think, people died as a direct result in America from taking that shot. So how is it safe? How is it effective? All right, they admit to that. So even if you don't want to take the 17 million, because that might be too much for folks, and that would be conspiracy. And of course, I'm a card carrying conspiracy, and I just barely graduated 12th grade, so what do I really know? But you can actually type that in. VAERS actually admits that almost 20,000 people died as a result of that thing, and I'm quite sure many of you all have seen videos of people that was at the vaccination centers. They would take the shot, fall out right there, right? But it's safe and effective. Dee says they're always distracting the people with one thing while creating another secret weapon. Yes, indeed. All right, but at any rate, I'm gonna go on this the last story. Let me go and get out of here. I know it's the weekend and y'all got stuff to do. All right. So Pfizer executive says company is purposely mutating the COVID virus through what they call direct evolution to keep profit streams flowing. COVID is going to be a cash cow for us. That's a direct quote from Jordan Tristan Walker. In order to continue the peddling of an endless stream of new high-profit vaccines on the public, pharmaceutical giant Pfizer is engaging in direct evolution projects designed to mutate the virus on purpose. Project Veritas learned all this in an undercover bombshell interview, this time with Jordan Tristan Walker, Pfizer's Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operation, and mRNA Scientific Planner. Marcy T says, I couldn't find a guy. Okay, it's fine. No, not Dennis Rand. No, Denis. You spelled it wrong. Denis Rancourt. Rancourt. All right, but even if you can't find it, that's all right. Again, you can just look up VAERS. They admit that one is too many, but our government admits to 19,000. All right. So let me continue. One of the things we're this is Walker talking to the undercover. One of the things we're exploring is like, why don't we just mutate it ourselves so we can create preemptively new vaccines, right? So we have to do it like that. If we're going to do it, though, there is a risk of, like, as you can imagine, no one wants to have a pharma company mutating fucking viruses. That is his. Those are his words. All right. And I'm going to continue a further quote from him. You have to be very controlled to make sure that this virus, talking about COVID, that you mutate doesn't create something that goes elsewhere. He's referring to lab leaks. And right outside of Washington, D.C., it's a bioweapons lab. I always forget the name of that that BSL-4 lab outside of Washington, Fort Detrick, that's it, Fort Detrick. Universe, she's in the Baltimore area, and I'm in Philadelphia. But say for instance, they mutate hantavirus, Lassa virus, Ebola, all of these what they call hemorrhagic viruses. Imagine if that thing was to, imagine they had a lab leak at Fort Detrick. Baltimore gonna get it. Washington, D.C. gonna get it. Philadelphia probably can get it. A whole bunch of stuff on a whole bunch of major cities on the eastern seaboard could actually be infected based off of a lab leak. These things happen all the time. Marcy T says, Rockefeller, once we get all our vaccines into them, we can do whatever we want to them. Now what's for lunch? Yeah. All right. But I'm going to continue with Walker's statement. You have to be very controlled to make sure that this virus that you mutate doesn't create something that just goes elsewhere, which I suspect is the way the virus started in Wuhan. So he acknowledged that that could have happened. All right. It makes no sense that this virus popped out of nowhere. And this is a quote, it's bullshit. Right off the bat in the interview, when asked if Pfizer is thinking about mutating COVID, Walker admitted that while this is not what we say to the public, it is exactly what they are doing. And as a matter of fact, Marcy T, Black Spring Autumn, I want you to put the video of Walker running like a hoe once they found out what was what. All right. So that's pretty much it for that story there. Again, some of these folks they are mutating that virus, and actually I would dare say they're mutating others as well, because I know that what's the dude Eric Pianka, he's a bioethicist at the University of Texas in Austin, and I saw him in a presentation maybe 8-9 years ago, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase what he said. Airborne Ebola has a 90% kill rate, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, wait a minute. Let me get it right. AIDS has killed a lot of people. Again, I'm paraphrasing. AIDS killed a lot of people, but airborne Ebola knocks out 9 out of 10. So for every one person that survives, he's going to have to bury 9. This dude is a maniac, but you have people that are in high places and scientific circles that are actually thinking these things out, and they actually having live presentations, and people are clapping. If you didn't know no better, it's almost like they have a nihilistic attitude. They just want people dead just for the sake of killing them. Didi says, true. They're all working together, buying all crops, lands, messing with the animals, shooting up the food. Yes, indeed. I just came from Reading Terminal Market here in Philadelphia. I try to eat as clean as possible. I try not to eat factory farm meats out of the grocery stores. I know everybody can't do that, and it hurt me. But you got to do your best. You got to do your best to try to eat clean and take care of yourself, because from the skies to the water to the food, everything has been adulterated. So, along with taking your supplements, getting your ass some sun, getting into nature, getting up off this thing from time to time, and living your life that way, because they doing everything they can to knock you up out of here. Marcy T says, I eat hamburger, can't afford all the other good beef. As I said, it's tough for everybody, all right? But you have to try to, as they say, give it that good old college try. Again, I ain't no millionaire at all, but I do have to say I was ignorant in the fact that I would say, well, that organic stuff, that's for them white folks. Man, give me all the high fructose corn syrup I can get, because I was drinking Pepsi, 7-Up, all that. Say bottled water. What make it out? I used to be like that, but I know the error of my ways now. Marcy T says, I got a roast for $14. Okay. Marcy T says, I've been making a lot of Mexican dishes. Didi says, great cosmic Mother Earth. Yes, ma'am. And in that vein, there's a doctor that I follow out in from Houston, Texas. His name is Dr. Edward Group. I done bought plenty of supplements from this dude. When my brother lives in Houston, I was so moved, I missed him by 15 minutes. I went to go and shake this dude's hand, because what he said was that there's always an answer in nature. Any a lot of ailments that people have, they can simple the simple stuff. Eating vegetables, water, exercise, good sleep. A lot of stuff can be turned around, and there are a lot of natural supplements out there. You just got to know where to look, and you got to have the resolve to want to go and find these things to help save your life, because you are responsible for your health. The doctors ain't gonna help you. I'm in healthcare, and I can tell you, and I tell my daughter this, Damaris, the reason why you able to go to school and the reason why you got clothes on your back is because your daddy work at a hospital. We need people sick, because if we resolve everybody's problem, what good would the hospitals do? What good would doctors be if they help resolve everybody's problem? We need people sick. All right? And I know a lot of people may not want to hear that, but healthcare is a business. All right? And I wouldn't want anybody sick, but it's ultimately on you. Dr. Mercola often says, you take control of your health. There's another guy, his name I think is Robert Scott Bell. He says, you have the power. And you do. All right? Marcy T says, dandelion tea, pine needles tea does wonders. Well, I take this stuff called pine pollen, and I'm telling you, turn a man's life around. All right, pine pollen is that thing. When I first heard about it, I said, what, man? Pine pollen? But they extract it down to a tincture form. But again, it's always an answer in nature. All right. So again, I want to thank all y'all for coming out. So that would be Mama Goddess, Dee Dee, okay, Gerald Nichols. All right, Gerald Nichols, first interaction, respect, salute. Mama Goddess up in here, Black Spring with Autumn. All right. Teresa Tro from Home Natural Medicines. Yes, indeed. But once again, you have to know where to look, because you really can't have information overload. Myself, I'll just put myself out there. I'll just speak to me. I'll just speak about me. Global Healing Center, they have very good products. Vitacost, they pretty good. They have organic options. Alex Jones store, he has stuff. The Health Range of Natural News, he has a supplement line. Garden of Life, this guy named Jordan Rubin, all his stuff is 100% certified organic, at least from my research. All right, so those are just some of the supplement lines I run with. But again, I get on the ground, I do my push-ups, I got a home pull-up bar, I got kettlebells, I got resistance band, I got another implement, this thing called the ripstick, coming in a couple of days. You have to do all this. Again, I cannot account for, I'm in Philadelphia, one of the more violent cities in America. I can't account, and I be out in these streets, so I cannot account for a bullet. All right, I can't account for, because there's a lot of road rage, and I'm gonna talk about that after I say this. There's a lot of road rage. All right, can't account for somebody taking a light and T-boning me while I'm in the car. I can't account for none of that, but I can account for what I put in my mouth. All right, I can account for what I drink. Now again, I'm a social drinker. I drink my bourbon, I smoke my cigars, but 6 days out the week, I'm up on that pull-up bar, or I'm sweating doing these pull-ups and these burpees, and I'm taking my supplements. I fast every day. I go at least 17 hours every day. I'm pretty much like down to 1.5 meals per day, and I am finding out that yes, the less food the better. But it's what food you put in your body once you do eat. But fasting is good. All right. So you have all these alternatives, and this the last point here. This is on some race stuff, and then I'm gonna go on and close. And I want to thank all y'all for coming out. I heard a story this morning of a guy by the name of Wilkes. His name is, I want to say Eugene Wilkes. So any of the moderators, I want you to go to the YouTube channel is called A Righteous Perspective. And the title of that video is called Black People Turn on BLM. And what happened is there was a case, I want to say in the Milwaukee area, where this guy named Eugene Wilkes sideswiped a car, and he was in wrong, and body camera footage showed that he was in fact in the wrong. But here you go, he tried to merge illegally into traffic. He trying to take over. He sideswiped a person. So the person who he hit stops and tries to assess the damage. Wilkes, in a rage, gets out of his car and slaps the other driver that he hit with his gun. You heard me right. Wilkes gets out of his car and assaults the person he hit. But little did he know that the person he hit was an undercover policeman. The policeman was armed, so he shot and lit his ass up, and now Wilkes is a fucking memory. But the thing with it is that this happened in June. Why was it not shown on CNN? You had a white policeman shoot a black person. That's the narrative, right? Excuse me 1 second while Philadelphia's finest do their job. Right? If a white policeman shoots a black citizen, that should get wall-to-wall coverage, right? Well, this happened in June. And you know why it didn't come up? It didn't come up because the body camera footage showed him assaulting the officer. The officer had a quicker draw. So Wilk got what he deserved. So he didn't fit the narrative. I'll give you one more, and then and I promise we're going to get out of here. I'm sure you all heard of Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. What if I told you 2.5 years prior to that event happening, there was a black neighborhood watchman in New York State, by the name of Roderick Scott. He shot and killed 17-year-old Christopher Zervini, who was breaking into cars and stuff, right? Now, a black man shot a white teen. That didn't get any coverage. A Hispanic, George Zimmerman is not white, but nonetheless, people believed he was. George Zimmerman shot and killed Trayvon Martin. There's videos all over the place where Zimmerman was in fact beaten down by the teenager, and so they had a struggle over the gun, and he popped Trayvon Martin. Now, you're not supposed to say stuff like that because you're not an on-code black, but based off what I've seen, that's exactly what happened. Okay, you said they freezing alive. Okay, imagine my shock. Well, can you? Am I good to go now, Dee? Y'all have to tell me if I'm buffering. If not, I'll go on and shut it down. But it's just funny how narratives go. They didn't show Roger Scott, and he's actually referred to as the Black George Zimmerman. So if they didn't freeze that out, Dee, I want you to take time and I want you to look up Roderick Scott, New York, Christopher Cervini. I think his last name is spelled Cervini. So this happened way before George Zimmerman, but they didn't show that. They showed that, and that was the birth of Black Lives Matter, that incident. All right. So again, let me see. Is it just me or the live going in and out? Well, I don't know. Okay, good now. All right, Trucker Z, salute. All right. So if you didn't hear me, let me say it again. A full 2.5 years before George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, there was a case in New York State where a black neighborhood watchman shot and killed a white teen. That didn't get any coverage, but you got wall-to-wall coverage of Trayvon Martin. All right. Lastly, if for more on stuff like that, I did a video dealing with being on code, and I talked about that in that video. So even if this one frees up, you can look at my on code video, and that'll talk about it even more. So again, I want to thank all y'all for coming out. Real quick, Black Spring with Autumn, if you would please. I want you to left out and came back. It's clear. Okay. All right. So hopefully you did hear. You put a 1 in the chat if you did hear what I said lastly about Roderick Scott. Black Spring with Autumn, if you would please, I want you to put Trucker Z's link in the stream for me, and then we're gonna go and get out of here. Black Spring with Autumn and all the other moderators who are here, I'm gonna hang around for another 2-3 minutes so y'all can put y'all links in. It's very important, and after you do that, put DD's link and Trucker Z's link in the stream for me as well. Again, I want to thank all y'all for coming out. Real quick, I said at the opening that I lost since YouTube reinstated me. I lost 14 subscribers. I love that stuff, man. It's just funny to me. I guess people don't like, maybe they don't like your style. Other people, they just got what it takes, all right? So yeah, so again, we about 50 minutes. Let me see. Trucker Z says, I'm just here for entertainment. Well, I hope you was entertained. I hope you were informed, and I don't know how long you were here. hopefully you got something out of what I said, because YouTube is entertaining, but we should be here to try to learn and get a quick jewel if we can. So that's just what I'm on. So you have streams that want to laugh and joke and all that. This ain't one of them. So this may not be your channel. I'm 58 years old, and I just talk about real stuff that's in the world. That's all. I just give my interpretation on what I see in the world. All right. So that's pretty much it. All right. Teresa Tro, welcome in first into action. Black Spring with Autumn or any of the other moderators. If Teresa Tro has a YouTube channel, she got some subscribers, put her link in there as well. I'm gonna hang out for another 2 minutes, and then we're gonna go on and get out of here. So y'all need to go on and drop your links, because again, it's sad and y'all got stuff to do, as do I. So again, I want to thank all y'all for coming out. Let me see. Dee Dee says, bring peace and harmony to humanity. All right. Trucker Z says, I like learning. Well, so do I. This is why I talk about the stuff that I do on my channel. So again, really quickly, I got about 90 more seconds, then I'm gone. I need to see some links. If not, I understand. And we'll do this thing in about a week. I'm going to go live from probably a restaurant where it's a more intimate setting, more, quiet and stuff like that. But again, we here at the Strawberry Mansion Bridge. I know y'all can't see it, but yeah, we here off and stuff like that, around nature and all that type stuff. So no links have been dropped. All right, so let me go and get out of here. So again, I want to thank Trucker Z, Teresa Tro, Dee Dee, Marcy T, Black Spring with Autumn. So let me see who else I missed. Who else? Gerald Nichols. All right, so I want to thank all y'all for coming out. I'm gonna go and get out of here. And feel free to, what state? I'm in Philadelphia. Okay. Teresa Tro says, keep going. We need people like you. Well, you'll have to just go back and watch the replay of the stuff that I mentioned regarding Pfizer, a pharmaceutical giant that did more harm than good. In fact, oh yeah, really quickly, Black Spring with Autumn, if you still in here, or any of the moderators, Pfizer had to pay, I think, $3.2 billion or something like that. They had to pay one of the largest settlements in history. And why? Because they corrupt. All right? So, again, I want to thank all y'all for coming out. And let me go and get out of here. I want y'all to have a great rest of your weekend and an even better week forthcoming. Again, my name is Derek C. Williams. All y'all take care. Greenville, Mississippi till I die. Oh, wait. Hold up. Shout out and respect due to John Wick. Yeah, real quick, John Wick, just so you know I'm a card-carrying conspiracy theorist. So when I mention President Trump, because I know what you said about all presidents being puppets and stuff, I would go with that. But if given the choice of what we were going to get as opposed to what we got, give me Trump every day, all day. All right? Trump in a landslide over the last 8 presidents. So that would be, for in my lifetime, Carter, Ford, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, the other Bush, Obama, Biden. The last eight presidents, give me Trump over them any day. All right. So that's why I put that in there. But so just so you know, but respect due to John Wick. All right. So yeah, so really quickly, oh yeah, also John Wick. If you go back and look at the beginning of the live, you'll see where I kind of like, it wasn't a diss. It's just, well, yeah, it is a diss. Why is Trump partnering with Pfizer? Didn't you learn from Fauci? You can't trust him. Why would you partner? Why would you have strike a $70 billion deal with the folks who help kill people? But he say he want to make America healthy again. Yes, sir. John Wick, that's the comment of the live. It is all about the dollar. Yes, sir. But again, a lot of the stuff with regards to the crime being lowered in major cities, whether or not you like the approach, the result. All right? Dee Dee says they're all working together. Yeah, I would agree. Because they had this thing called a revolving door policy with people who worked in pharmaceutical sphere going into the political sphere. The current FDA, well, the former FDA head was name was Scott Gottlieb, I think. Well, he was one of the top dogs at Pfizer. Once he left Pfizer, he immediately transitioned into government. So it is it's a simpatico relationship. You know, they one hand wash the other. So yes, they all are working together. But you know, just the same, you know, you got to give him credit for getting the border straight, stuff like that. You know, um, the fact that people have pride in their country again, stuff like that. So that's, to me, that's worth its weight in gold. The fact that ain't nobody come across the border no more as somebody that's being ex-military. That's what yeah. If you're an illegal alien, you got to go. Cause think about it. Here I am. Here I am. It's irrelevant what color I am. Let me try to break. Let me try to break into Mexico and see what's gonna happen to me. But for some reason, I went downtown today, and they have an all kings protest. I can't break into Mexico, but you have people fighting the police for the federal government to do what they're charged to do, which is to keep foreign invaders out of our country. You got to come in here right. Bottom line, ain't nobody saying that you're not welcome, but you just got to come right. Because again, I can't break into Mexico. I can't break into Sweden. They're going to say papers, please, and they right to do that. And if I ain't got my papers, what are they going to do? They're going to get that ass deported, as he should. Okay, well, if it's good for me, how come it ain't good? How come it ain't good for Julio that's trying to break in here wrong? Right? So that's all. So you have to give him credit for that. You may not like the way he talk. You may not even like the way I talk. But just the same, with Trump, he's getting stuff done. And do you really think that Harris would have got a tenth of what this dude done got done in 9 months? Just a thought. All right? So let me go and get out of here. And again, I want to thank all y'all for coming out. All y'all take care. Greenville, Mississippi till I die. Salute. Marcy T, I see you.